afternoon, everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing fine and enjoying some spring-like weather. It's still cold here, but it is above freezing finally. And I have decided, yesterday actually, I asked Mark if he was willing to take a drive to the new Costco Business Center. Now, I know that there is something, most Costco's are what they call warehouse, Costco warehouses. This one is what they call a Costco Business Center, so it is different. It is actually designed to market, to service the restaurant and other commercial entities. And I think initially here it gave me the impression that you had to own a business in order to go to Costco, but that opened up years ago to anybody who wanted a membership, although initially it was, if I recall correctly, it was strictly for people who had businesses. So anyway, they opened up a brand new business center. Now, this type of Costco offers things that you don't see in the regular Costco. So I wanted to take a look at it. I'd been to the one in Scarborough years ago, and it was amazing. It was huge, and it had, you name it, there was so many things there that just, and even though you were just a regular member, you could buy there, even though it was designed to sell to the business community. They didn't care. As long as you had a membership, you can purchase there. So I did need a few things that I traditionally buy from Costco, like, great big huge packages of paper products, toilet paper, paper towels. I always buy from there just to get it in bulk and get it once and not have to think about it. Now, they also opened up a fairly new Costco not too far from my home base here. And I will even go there to buy cream because it's cheaper than going to a different grocery store, and I can get in and out quick. Doesn't take me any extra time or any less time or any more time than any shopping anyplace else. I mean, Walmart can be just as busy too. I have, before I left for Alabama in October last year, I would always go in there and buy my cream and maybe, the other odd thing or two. And I found it really strange because in the past, when I had to go to the one that was further away, there was no way you would catch me going for just a couple of containers of cream. But that was the blessing of having one that close. I don't have to do a bulk shopping if I didn't want to. Now, the business center is where I picked up the bulk bags of rice and the bulk bags of beans and, things that you could not get, like 25-pound bags or I forget what the actual poundage, but very large bags. And I stocked up on those, and I vacuum sealed some of them, most all of them in smaller packages, and they are my pantry stash for bad times, and that's why they are vacuum sealed, because you want to keep them as fresh as possible. Now, I did want to visit the store to see what they had to offer, and as I said, I did need a few things. I picked up some cream, I picked up some paper products. I found I wanted Parmesan cheese because we do eat a lot of pasta here, so I like the brick of Parmesan cheese because it is so much fresher that way. It's not dried out, and it has much more flavor buying it by the brick. And I grate it as I need it, just grate a small amount, put it in a pint jar, and then vacuum seal the balance of it. Now, I just buy a small brick, and that still costs me close to $30, $35, it could be in that range. And wouldn't you know it, I found these big, beautiful bricks of Parmesan cheese piled high, and each one of those were probably $150 and more, and there was just no way I was going to buy that quantity of that product. It's even though It is something that is aged. You still don't want that much of a fresh product that's just going to sit there for probably the next 3 years. I know we can go through it, but I don't think we could go through that much that quickly. And there was amazing amounts of deli meat. So anyone who had a bakery that had a deli counter or something in that nature could buy the whole deli, just about of any kind of meat you wanted. And that was nice. And the one thing that we did find in the deli meats that we really liked was pastrami. But even the smallest amount was around $50. And Mark said, well, that's going to make an awful lot of sandwiches. And I said, well, you know, maybe in the summer when we don't feel like cooking that much, we can buy one of those. And we do have a meat slicer so that we can, slice up how much we're going to use in the short term and put the rest back in a vacuum seal pouch so that it stays fresh. That's what I did with my Parmesan cheese as well. I just cut a hunk off, grate it, and then vacuum seal the rest so it stays as fresh as possible. And that works, even just trying to wrap it up in cellophane, it would dry out. So, yeah, I love my vacuum sealer. And that is the one thing I did buy in Alabama was a little vacuum sealer. And I like the one I got in Alabama much better than the one I have here. I think they've improved. I realized that that one had locks on both sides, and I realized even with this one, when it doesn't seem to want to vacuum, if you press down on it, and it only locks on the one side here, but if you press down on it, and it will vacuum seal every time. Otherwise, I found it really frustrating just trying to use the lock that they had. So I can get this one to work 100% of the time, as long as I put some pressure on it, which is fine. But the one down south, lock on both sides, got all the pressure it needs, and it works perfectly. I guess they're learning where the faults are, and they improve them with each new model that they put out, which is fine. As long as they do that, that's a good thing. Anyway, we did enjoy the walk through the store. A lot of things there that I would never buy, and it's not as well equipped as the one in Scarborough. Unfortunately, this one seems to be much smaller. Doesn't have the variety of interesting items that I was hoping to see, and I probably won't go back there again. But it was worth a drive and worth looking at. We will likely go back once in the summer to pick up some pastrami, but to shop there on a regular basis, it's not worth it. I have one closer to me where I shop for bulk meats, paper products, coffee. There are certain things I'll buy from there. I do not buy produce from there. I'll get eggs and milk and cream, but produce I get from the Asian market because they go through a lot of produce and they sort through it and make sure it's always fresh and it's priced reasonably well. And the Asian market is also where I get my chicken carcasses and shrimp. There are certain things I'll buy from each place. And then Walmart, of course, has other items that other places don't have. Now, the one item I was looking for in the Costco Business Center, I specifically went there for it, was a large container of Keen's dried mustard. And we found that in Alabama I couldn't find dried mustard, which rather surprised me. Here I managed to get one of these large containers once, and I believe it was at a regular Costco, but they didn't have it. So I thought, well, maybe the business center will have one, and they didn't have it either, although it shows up on their website. And this thing will last me forever. Unfortunately, I can't split half of it into a mason jar and take it down south. In order for me to be compliant with what you can and cannot bring down south, anything that I do bring is in original container and allowable. And I'm sure that As long as it's in an original unopened container, no issue. So if I can't find the large jar before we go back, I'll just get a small one. And I do use a bit of dried mustard when I'm making deviled eggs, because it just adds that little bit of extra flavor that makes it really tasty. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. I was actually expecting to get that. On the other hand, I did get a huge container of parsley. And I said to Mark, yeah, that container of parsley is like 3 times the regular size, and it costs, and I saved on that. So the trip was somewhat worth it. Prices have gone up. They've gone up everywhere. And I'm quite shocked at how much I ended up having to pay for coffee and for paper towels. So yeah, I don't know if that's normal. We'll have to see as time goes on. I'll keep checking on prices. But, I guess I'd gotten accustomed to what I was paying in the U.S. and thought I'd come back and it would be what I was accustomed to before in Canada, but no, everything's gone up. And, even the cream. But what are you going to do? You can cut back, and you can, I'm going to start making meatballs again. Making my own tomato sauce and my own pasta. Saves us a few dollars here and there, and it's better food. Anyway, I've got some pictures of this lovely, some of the beautiful things you can get there. Got a lot of meat in large packages that probably I would never buy from there. But, it's beyond what I would buy for meat. I mean, they even had whole lamb and whole goat, although they were in a bag, so you don't see that. But yeah, what can you say? I guess there's a market for that, otherwise I wouldn't be selling it here. Anyway, this is Tony from Our Homestead Skills, and just thought I'd share what a new Costco business center looks like. Anyway, have a great day, everyone.